Hey, my name is Braden Manning. This is my informative speech. These are my 3 viewers. Let's have some fun. All right, here we go. Okay, so I want you guys to imagine this, right? Your heart is racing, your hands are sweating, you're in a game. The game is tied. The clock is winding down, and suddenly the entire game depends on you, right? So in moments like this, physical skill alone, your talent alone, is not enough in this situation. Mental toughness is what is making or breaking this moment. Mental toughness is very important because it is the component of athletic and competitive success, because it improves performance under pressure and strengthens your resilience after setback. As someone who participates in competitive sports, as I personally compete in collegiate athletes here at Taylor, and also who studies under big pressure a lot, I've seen firsthand how mental strength often separates good athletes, how it often separates the good athletes from, even importantly, the other bad athletes as well. So understanding mental toughness can benefit everyone in this room, the 3 of you guys here, whether you compete in sports, you perform on the stage, or you're taking a big test in your future jobs or careers. So today I will explain what mental toughness is. I will explain how it helps you guys perform under pressure and why it is also essential for you guys' long-term success. So going into my first point, mental toughness improves your guys' performance under pressure. It refers mental toughness to the ability to stay confident, focused, and composed in these stressful situations, right? So we're going to be looking at a first study done by sports psychologist Dr. Jim Lohr. He says that mentally tough athletes remain 3 things. They remain calm, they remain confident, and they remain in control during their competition. So this mindset is very important. It allows them to execute certain skills effectively when the stakes are high, and even when the stakes are not as high as well. So for example, professional athletes constantly deal with these kinds of distractions, either on the court or off the court, where they have to deal with loud crowds, different environmental circumstances, or different game moments. These athletes who succeed are often the ones who can block out the noise and fully concentrate on their performance and just the work alone, right? So instead of worrying about the outcome, they focus on their process, their breathing, their body language, and stuff like that. So the ability to maintain this focus under pressure is what often leads to clutch performances and consistent execution, as you can see as all of the great athletes that we have been watching our entire lives. However, mental toughness is not only important in these high-stakes situations. It is also very important when things are not going as well or as you want them to. So mental toughness also plays a big role when things do not go as planned. So mentally tough athletes view failure as feedback rather than defeat, right? You can see this in psychologist Carol Dweck. Here in my second main point, explains in her research that individuals with a growth mindset are more likely to embrace challenges and persist through obstacles because they've seen them, all right? They've seen them in multiple different circumstances, multiple different games, and they view them as opportunities to improve their game. So a power real-life example I want to share with you guys is Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan, great NBA player. We know Michael Jordan, we hear Michael Jordan, we see Michael Jordan over everything. So fun fact, he was actually cut from his high school varsity team, right? So this was a point of failure for Michael, obviously, and he didn't view this as just this huge setback in his career. He viewed this as a learning curve, something for him to get better, something that motivated him to train harder, develop his skills, and obviously he became the best basketball player in history. So research will also back up this claim as well. We look at the Journal of Psychology of Sports and Exercise. Athletes who demonstrate higher levels of mental toughness experience lower rates of burnout and emotional exhaustion, as you can see when you get deeper into long seasons, especially with our season with baseball and stuff like that. So this means they are better equipped to handle the physical and emotional stress and demands of competition over time. So this ability to recover quickly from setbacks, if you're going through a slump, if you're having a hard time. The ability to bounce back from this helps athletes significantly. It contributes to their long-term development and sustained achievement. So mental toughness also influences long-term success, which is getting me into my third main point, that mental toughness promotes discipline and consistency over a long period of time. So mental toughness is not just about dramatic game-winning moments, right? You're going to have times where it's about showing up every day, putting in the work every day, being consistent, maintaining discipline, going to bed early, getting up early, eating what you're supposed to be eating. It's about all the little things that we do. Psychologist Angela Duckworth describes this quality. This is grit, right? We hear grit, like you may be called gritty, but what does this mean, right? She defines it as a passion and perseverance towards long-term goals. She published a journal in the Personality and Social Psychology. It basically said that individuals who maintain the effort and the interest, the grit over time, are more likely to achieve the success than those who kind of are a little lazy and just rely on their talent, right? So in athletes, what does this mean for us? This means committing to early morning workouts, pushing through hard practices, maybe pushing through some minor injuries that we may have, you never know. Maintaining focus on long seasons. Everything's not going to be super exciting. You're not going to be wanting to do everything, but we have to push through and show grit in these situations. More studies in sports psychology further show that self-discipline and persistence are stronger predictors of long-term athletic achievement than natural ability alone. So ultimately, what am I trying to say is that talent may provide an advantage at the beginning, but mental toughness determines who's going to improve over a period of time. A better way to put this, an analogy I kind of want to give you guys, is talent gets us in the ballpark, but it's the hard work that gets us to our seat in the ballpark, right? So overall, mental toughness is far more than just a motivational phrase, right? You're not just going to get mental toughness from a coach who wants to give you a halftime speech, right? It is a powerful psychological skill that we need to develop because it shapes performance, our resilience, and as we just talked about, long-term success. So briefly, what I just talked to you guys about, we explored mental toughness and how it helps different athletes perform under pressure, how it helps them bounce back from failure, and maintains their discipline over time.